I'm David Chandler. I'm an optics reviewer for Birdwatching Magazine, and I'm here in Germany at the home of ZEISS and at the ZEISS Museum. We're going to go inside the museum. We're going to find out about some of ZEISS's binocular and telescope history, which dates, well, right back to the beginning of the company, I guess, in 1846. But it's cold outside, so I am going to get in there. Let's go and take a look. What you have in front of you is a piece of birding binocular history. That's the first polyprism that the world ever saw, produced in 1894. So the mechanics were designed by Carl ZEISS and the optics were by a man called Ernst Abbe. So that's the very beginning. And I'm going to go and meet Dr. Gerald Dobler, who looks after product strategy for ZEISS Sport Optics.
For birdwatching, we have a complete range of products. So it starts with binoculars in the 32 range, the Victory 32, very lightweight. We also have some bigger models. Our newest model is the SF. For a 42 model, it's one of the most lightweight binoculars in the world. And it's got a wonderful balance, so as soon as you put it towards your head, all the weight goes back and the binocular balances very nicely. And so you lean the binocular actually here against your skull, and that takes all the weight out of it. So for long-term observation, especially in bird watching, this is our newest model, and it has a lot of advantages like field of view is tremendously big. Also the optics are extremely good, especially towards the edge, and so it's really something that covers all of the needs of a bird watcher. Our newest scope is the Gavia. It's an 85 millimeter model designed for bird watching, and it's got a wide field of view. It's got a variable eyepiece, goes from 30 times magnification up to 60 times magnification, and excellent optics, and has a very fast and dynamic focus mechanism so that you're always on spot on birds that are close to you, and you're very quick focusing to objects that are far away like an eagle, and so you can always be on spot right in time.
So that brings things more or less up to date for ZEISS products, but the best thing we can do, I think, with PSF and Gavia is get out of the museum, go somewhere where there's some birds and try them out for real. There's so many birds out there, with gadwall, mallard, with coots. So we're here near the Rhine. We're actually in France at the moment. We've got the Gavia with us, we've got some SFs with us, and I've got Dr. Gerald Dobler with me. So Gerald, when you were imagining this binocular, before it came into being, what kind of binocular were you trying to create?
Well, I tried to create a binocular that has top-notch optics, because this is the main thing for birders, you know,
Sure.
to have an excellent image quality, but then take as much weight out of the binocular.
Yeah, so there are other binoculars out there with great image quality.
Yes, but rather heavy.
Okay.
And so the idea was to take the overall weight out of it. So for long-term observation, when you are scanning a big group of ducks, for example, for
Yep.
a while, so you don't feel the weight.
They're bigger than some of the competition, but personally, I'd rather have a reduction in weight than a reduction in size, and I suspect most birdwatchers
Yes.
would say the same thing.
So, and the idea was to give it another balance in that way that we take the weight out of the objective lens area here, put the weight back. So as soon as you put these binoculars towards your eyes, that they fall back. Because the weight, into your face, and so you can lean these binoculars towards your skull over here while looking through, and that takes the weight out of them. And the length also helps a little bit in respect to the ergonomics, because you can easily put your fingers into that large gap here. And the fact that we put the focus wheel underneath the bridge that carries the mechanics makes it much more ergonomic, so you don't have to spread your finger up all the time. That is tiring.
So what about close focus? That's increasingly important for a lot of, bird watchers who've become butterfly watchers and dragonfly watchers. So how do they perform on the close focus side? Well,
it's 1.5 meters, so this is extremely close focus. And so you can actually focus down to your feet. And for butterfly watching, very important. Also important for botanists when they look at orchids and so, because you cannot always crawl down, and you cannot, in some cases, you are not allowed to go that close to these plants. So you have to stay away, but you can see every detail with the binoculars.
And I know there are top-end competitors that equal 1.5, but no one's bettering it, are they?
No.
Not at top end anyway.
No, not at the top end.
So we've come to Lake Constance. We're in the south of Germany. We're near the Swiss border. There's a lot of birds here. There's a lot of ice. It's still pretty cold. And we're going to take a look at the scope right here in front of me. And I've got Gerald with me, of course, still. So, Gerald, tell us about this scope. What was the idea behind the scope? What were you trying to achieve?
We tried to make an item that every standard bird watcher can use on a daily basis. So covering all the needs of the bird watcher, and especially also those who are traveling quite a bit. And so we kept it quite short. Although it is an 85 millimeter objective lens.
So still a
diameter,
big diameter.
It gathers a lot of light. So also under low light condition, this instrument gives you everything you need. And it comes with a variable eyepiece. 30 to 60 times magnification.
So that covers everything you're going to need, really, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I have to say, lots of scopes go down when you go above 40 times magnification, and at 60 the image quality is pretty low, and not in this scope. So this scope performs excellent at about 60 magnification, and also those objects that are far away, like these divers and ducks here. You see there is some ice there, so you have to overcome the ice, and you're behind the ice, so you can really clearly see all the field marks and details, and identify those birds properly.
And just sort of navigating my way through the scope, we've got a twist up, twist down eye cup with one intermediate position. We've got a smooth moving
the variator
on the eyepiece. One focusing wheel, helical focusing, wraps around the whole barrel. So you've got quick focusing there. And another really nice feature, you've got a rotating collar, and there are occasions when that's really useful. You can just move it around, and again that's click stopped, different positions. And another useful feature, of course, you've got a lens shield.
Sun shield.
So there you go. That's the Gavia. This scope has got something pretty unusual when it comes to eyepieces.
Right.
So just tell me about that.
So we have an adapter available that allows you to put all the astronomical eyepieces into the scope. So you can actually choose any magnification that you would like to put into the scope.
And there are hundreds of options out there, aren't there, for astronomical
eyepieces? Yes, there are hundreds of options. And if you put a pretty good astronomical eyepiece in, you will be surprised how good the quality is. So you can actually go down to, let me say, about 20 times magnification and get a fixed magnification eyepiece with an extremely wide field of view. So that makes the instrument absolutely suitable for forest birding, for example, or on safari when you want to use the scope from a safari jeep. So you would probably then go down to about 20 times magnification and have an extremely wide field of view.
ZEISS have made a range of phone scoping adapters for the Gavia as well. This one is for an iPhone 6S. They have options for other iPhones as well, and there's one for Samsung too. Rounding up then, in the SF you've got a binocular that is a really high performing binocular. It's got class leading field of view. So in the 8, that's 148 metres at 1,000 metres. In the 10, it's 120 metres. It's got a great close focus. It's as good as anything in the class, 1.5 metres with close focus. One of the really remarkable things about the SF is the ergonomics, and you have to handle them to appreciate that. They don't weigh a lot to start with, less than 800 grams, but put them in your hands, raise them to your eyes, and magically some of that weight seems to disappear. So if you're looking for the best birding binocular money can buy, you should certainly be taking a look at the SFs. The Gavia, the scope, that's another high performing instrument. It works well right through the zoom range, so from 30 times at the bottom end right through to 60 times, so it's a versatile tool. It's a full-size scope, but it's not particularly big and heavy for a full-size scope. So if you're travelling, you could consider taking it as your travel scope as well. So if it's in your price range and you're on the market for a new scope, you should be taking a look at and through the Gavia. Our job here's done. We've had a really good time here in Germany over the last few days, playing with the latest ZEISS toys. But we've got to go. You fancy some lunch?
Definitely.
See ya.